It was early Monday morning at the Riverside Zoo when Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the lead veterinarian, received an urgent call from the reptile house. Something was wrong with Bella, the zoo's prized 18-foot anaconda. For nearly 3 weeks, Bella hadn't eaten a single meal. Not a rat, not a rabbit, nothing. That alone was unusual. But what sent alarm bells ringing was the massive bulge protruding from her midsection. Too large, too round, too still. Sarah hurried to the enclosure, her shoes echoing against the tiled floor as the humid air thickened around her. There she found Bella coiled loosely in her corner, eyes half open, breathing shallowly. The snake looked exhausted, yet that strange heavy swelling along her body seemed to pulse ever so slightly. "Tom," Sarah called to the senior zookeeper, Tom Bradley, who stood awkwardly nearby. "How long has she been like this?" Tom avoided her gaze. "About a week," he said. "She's been refusing food since mid-month. We've tried everything, rats, chickens, even a rabbit. She just turns away." Sarah frowned. Anacondas could go weeks without food, yes, but this wasn't normal. That bulge wasn't food waiting to digest, it looked foreign. Something was lodged inside her, and the way Bella barely moved told Sarah that whatever it was causing real pain. They needed to act fast. "Get the transport crate ready," Sarah ordered. "We're taking her to the vet facility immediately." Within an hour, Bella was sedated and transported to the zoo's medical wing. The team gently positioned her under the ultrasound scanner, hoping to identify the obstruction. But the image came back foggy, distorted by dense layers that sound waves couldn't penetrate. "What on earth?" Sarah muttered under her breath. They needed something stronger. She radioed the zoo director, James Carter, who wasted no time calling in a reptile specialist from the state university. Within 30 minutes, the specialist arrived rolling in a portable X-ray machine. The room fell silent as the machine powered on. The team gathered around the monitor, eyes fixed on the emerging black and white image. The shape inside Bella's body began to take form, round, dense, symmetrical. It wasn't bone. It wasn't rock. Sarah's breath caught. She leaned closer to the screen, her voice trembling. "Is that a shell?" The X-ray revealed the unmistakable dome of a radiated tortoise, a critically endangered species valued at over $30,000. The room went cold. Tom's face turned pale. He stepped back, stammering, "That can't be right. That's impossible." But the evidence was clear. Sarah immediately ordered the security office to pull footage from the previous nights. What they found next turned a medical mystery into a criminal case, one that would shock the entire zoo. The footage began playing on the small monitor in the control room. The night vision recording flickered with a greenish tint as a lone figure appeared near the tortoise enclosure. Sarah and the zoo director leaned in. The man was wearing a staff jacket, the same dark green uniform all employees use, but as the camera zoomed in, the name tag was unmistakable. Tom Bradley. He moved quickly, glancing around before unlocking the small gate to the endangered tortoise pen. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. Friday night. He appeared to be carrying a clipboard and a set of keys, standard issue for senior keepers, but what came next made everyone's stomach tight. Tom placed a small crate beside the habitat, lifted one of the tortoises, a rare radiated tortoise from Madagascar, and carefully set it inside. Then, he walked out, locking the gate behind him. "Why would he do that?" whispered Sarah, her pulse quickening. The mystery deepened when, minutes later, another camera showed Bella's enclosure, its metal latch barely hanging on, swinging loose in the night air. The heavy anaconda had somehow slithered out, likely through the gap Tom failed to secure earlier that day. The pieces clicked together in Sarah's mind like a dreadful puzzle. The tortoise hadn't vanished mysteriously. It had been left vulnerable, and Bella, acting on pure instinct, had swallowed it whole. By morning, Tom had filed an official theft report claiming a visitor had stolen the rare tortoise. He even helped the search team look for clues, pretending to be worried while the evidence sat inside the belly of the zoo's star attraction. But now, the truth was laid bare, and Sarah wasn't going to let it slide. Within the hour, police cars pulled up outside the veterinary wing. Officers entered with quiet authority, the flashing blue lights reflecting against the steel table. Tom tried to speak, but words failed him. He stuttered excuses, something about insurance paperwork and protocol confusion. When they read him his rights, the room was silent except for the faint hum of the machines. He was charged with criminal negligence, insurance fraud, and false reporting. Meanwhile, Sarah focused on saving Bella. The X-ray showed the tortoise shell wedged dangerously inside her intestines. If they didn't act quickly, she could die. The surgical team worked tirelessly for hours. The operating lights glowed above Bella's massive body as Sarah made precise, careful incisions. It wasn't just a surgery, it was a rescue mission. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the hard shell was extracted. But the tortoise inside was lifeless. The team stood still for a moment of silence, mourning a creature that had survived decades in captivity, only to meet such a tragic end. When Bella awoke from anesthesia, she was groggy but alive. Sarah placed a gentle hand on her smooth scales and whispered, "You're okay now." Days later, the zoo issued an official statement confirming the incident. Bella made a full recovery, and new safety protocols were put in place to prevent anything like this from happening again. Tom Bradley, once a trusted zookeeper, was dismissed and later sentenced to probation for his role in the cover-up. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, however, became something of a quiet hero, the vet who uncovered the truth hidden inside an anaconda's stomach. And though Bella returned to her enclosure, peaceful and healthy, Her story would forever remain a chilling reminder that even in the most controlled environments, nature and human nature can collide in the most unexpected ways.